Rick, let me just tell you, I started this movie off thinking I knew how this was going to go down, and I did not. So I really, really enjoyed this film. Now, due to the climate change over the past few years, we've had apocalyptic floods, hurricanes, fires in the sky here in Southern California. Yeah. How much does all that go into this story?
I don't think it's as specific as that. This was definitely never going to be a climate change movie. It was going to be really a movie about what people are capable of in life and death. And if you look at the movies that I've done, even back to Shot Caller and Felon, they're all about that. But what I loved about when I read Greenland is I realized it was a movie about two monsters. It was not only the monster that was going to hit the earth, and you get this big visceral spectacle of that in the movie theater, but it was also the monster that we are as a humanity. Will we turn on each other? And are we capable of heinous things for our own self-survival, or will we do the right thing by others and help? And for me, it was Shot Caller without prison, right? It was, you don't need prison to make people, which we're seeing today, obviously, to understand if we're going to come together or turn on each other. And for me, that was an amazing experience to do a movie that was from the inside out with the action, so that you felt like you were in the Garrity's point of view and participating in the events with them versus watching it like voyeurs from the outside in.
Every step of the way. Now, speaking of the Garrity's, Moran is brilliant in this film. So is Gerard, and you've worked with Gerard before on Angel Has Fallen. What did both actors bring to the movie that wasn't necessarily on the page?
Honesty, which was on the page, but then you want to know if you have actors that are going to play it in that kind of honesty. The things that Jerry's character is trying to find redemption from, with their marriage, not to give things away, and her own ownership of her world and her own participation in the things that were going on in their marriage, and this love story that takes place. It was one of my favorite parts of the original material. It reminded me so much of the division in our world today, where we have just stopped seeing each other. And if somebody's different from us or has a different point of view, they're wrong and we're right, instead of understanding that we can always find compromises and ways to meld. And their marriage represents me of two people that are so far apart that they can barely live together. And then in the end, finding out what it all mattered in the first place, which is we just want to love somebody and to be loved back, and to not be alone in this world. And I love the message of that. And so you get this great intimate love story in the middle of it, but you get to give this big action ride, this visual thing. And I've been looking to do kind of a big disaster horror type of a movie, but I always wanted something like a Children of Men type of a thing, or A Quiet Place, something that was from the inside out, not from the outside in. We've all seen the spectacle, but I wanted an emotional, gripping ride within it.
Now, it's so funny because you literally just answered my next question. But in your research about meteorites, what kind of alarmed you the most?
The biggest one was the comets, is they move at accelerated speed and they can come out of nowhere. And the funny thing is, as we were making the movie, I got bombarded with emails of how many near misses come by our Earth all the given time. And literally this month, another one that was just going by. And what's interesting is that we love the idea, which is based on science, is that a lot of times comets will end up hitting other debris or within themselves, and they break up into a belt of fragments. So you got something that wasn't just the singular monster that you're waiting for the entire movie to hit. You get to have an engine that's like a monster in A Quiet Place that can come in any given moment and take you out. And so then it gives you a much bigger visceral ride all the way through, and to kind of change it up. But it was those type of things that you realize that, which we're seeing in today's things with the fires. Today we're looking at a major Hurricane Sally that's going to wreck the Gulf, and you realize just how small, how minuscule we are on this planet as people, and how fragile we are.
Yeah, I thought this film was great, and now I'm extremely nervous about comments now. But thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it, and thank you. The film's wonderful, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. We're going to be here longer than the cockroaches. Don't worry, we're going to make it.
I'm holding you to that exclusive. Thank you. Take care, Rick.